Oh, okay. All right. Da-da-da. Hey there guys, Dave Thomas, owner of Dave Thomas and the Dream Team here. And one thing I realized that we've never done is made an entire video talking about how the buying process works when you're going to purchase a property, which is crazy because that's like half of real estate. Half of people are buying homes and then the other half of people are selling homes. And so I've made videos talking about kind of each aspect of buying a home, but we've never consolidated them all together here in one great best hits video. So we're gonna talk about the buying process in a nutshell right now. So you've decided you want to go out and buy a home. It's practically the American dream. I get it. That's all I'd help people do all day, every day. So as far as purchasing a home goes, we're going to talk about it in a nutshell here as far as the steps go that you're going to be most involved in. You should know there's about 3,000 things that happen in the background when you're going to buy a home, but your real estate agent takes care of all of that for you. The first step when you're going to buy a home is to talk with a good lender. Talking with a good lender really is the most important part of buying a property. A good lender can help you fix your credit if you have credit issues. If you already have good credit, they can help you improve your credit throughout the process so that you can get a better interest rate. They can tell you what your payment will look like. They can tell you how much buying power you have. So talking with a lender really is the first step when you're going to buy a home. From there, what a lender will do is they'll take a look at your financial scope and from there give you a pre-approval letter, which now means that you can go out and actually start writing offers on homes. No seller is going to accept an offer on a home without a pre-approval letter. So if you're buying a home cash, just skip step one. Don't even worry about it. If you're buying a home cash, you don't need to talk with a lender ever. But if you're not, if you're like, the other 98% of Americans that are going to be using a mortgage, definitely start with a good lender. We have an awesome one. We use Brian Inlow over at Leader One. He's the man, and he's also pretty damn handsome too, ladies. After you've talked with a good lender, the next step really is to sit down with a good real estate agent. You know what I'm talking about. After you've sat down with a good agent like myself, we'll consult with you, again, coach you up on how the process works, and then from there we can actually schedule time to get out and view some property. The next step is to get out and look at property. And all you have to do that is schedule a time with your agent to actually get out there and have your agent show you property. It's really that easy. I encourage you to limit the amount of property that you look at to 5 or 6 homes in any given day. Beyond that, what I've found is people really just get exhausted with the process, and let's say your ideal home was number 2. Well, by the time you get to home number 17, you've probably forgotten all about home number 2 and missed out on a great opportunity for you and your family. So please limit the amount of property you're looking at in a day. That's always a suggestion I give to my clients. Next, you found your dream home. It's time to submit an offer. A good agent will be able to coach you up on what the market value for the property actually is and how to write a successful offer, getting you the best deal on the property, the closing terms that work for you and your family. After you've submitted your offer to the other party, it's time to negotiate. So your agent will start working with the other agent, the other party, to negotiate your offer back and forth until you've come up with amicable terms between you and the seller. Now that you've had your offer accepted, the next step is to have the property inspected. A good agent will be able to help point you in the direction of a couple of good inspectors. And we'll put our video about inspectors in the comment section below so you can actually watch a little bit more information about how the inspection works and what the pitfalls of a general home inspection are. Once you've picked your inspector, next you obviously have the property inspected, and from there, if there's issues with the home, you don't actually just have to terminate your contract and go find another property. You actually have the opportunity to ask the seller to make repairs to that property using a document we call an inspection objection. It's no guarantees that the seller is going to fix everything in the inspection, but a lot of times it might surprise you how many repairs a seller is willing to fix for you as a buyer. So just keep that in mind. After you've had the inspection done, you can actually get repairs done to the property before moving in. After the inspection, the appraisal will occur. And one thing you should keep in mind is that we don't really communicate a lot with the appraiser. So we don't really hire them. As far as how the appraiser gets picked, your lender, as far as I understand it, just takes your contract and like shoots it out into the galaxy of appraisal world until an appraiser randomly gets assigned to it. And from there, the appraiser goes out and makes sure that we're paying a fair market value for the appraisal. The appraisal can go a lot of different ways. The most common way is, let's say we're buying a $200,000 home. The appraiser will go in there, they'll say it's worth $204,000, and then we just go to the closing table and you own the home that day. The alternative is the appraiser can say that we're overpaying for the home. So again, using the 200K home as an example, they can come in and say, well, I find that the home's only worth $195,000. You have a couple of options from there as a buyer. We can ask the seller to reduce the price of the home down to $195K, which is most of the time what happens. The seller will look at it, we're already 3 to 4 weeks into the transaction at that point, and the seller will just reduce the price down to $195K, congratulations, Mr. Buyer, you got a cheaper home, and we go to the closing table. The other thing that can happen is a lot of times sellers can't do it. You know, sometimes they just can't. Sometimes they can't take that $5,000 hit. At that time, you have two options. You can either bring the $5,000 in cash and pay the difference, or you can terminate the transaction and go out there and buy another property. Once the appraisal's been completed, that's kind of the last step, and you just coast to close. Here in Colorado, we're what you call a table close state. And so the day you sign your paperwork, almost always, you're actually gonna own the home that day. You can sleep on an air mattress and eat pizza in it that night. As I mentioned before, there's about 3,000 other things that occur to make a real estate transaction come together, but your agent should take care of most of that stuff. These are just the points that you're gonna be most involved in during the real estate transaction. So that is the buying process in a nutshell. I know this is a quick video and there's a lot that goes into buying a home. It's incredibly exciting, but it's also a fairly complicated process. So please, if you guys have questions about buying a home, if you have questions about the buying process, if you even just want to come in and sit down with me and have a consultation, they're always free. So please don't hesitate to call, shoot us an email, or you can always visit us at daveandthedreamteam.com, or you can contact us from there as well. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much, guys. Bye. As you can see with this script, I'm gonna do a lot of freestyling on the mic today. You're gonna start to realize that you're getting further and further away from your objective, and you probably saw your favorite property on day one. Don't use any of that.